maybe I should take that away now.
Viewers, like people that chat.
Yeah, it used to be frustrating when we were first doing the podcast and we would see, this was really from when I was doing it at school with my buddy Grant down there. We could see that there would be like, we would get more viewers down at school like throughout it because we had like the whole fraternity there. So instead of sending in a group chat, our group chat with like 5 or 6 people, we would send it in like the 60-person group chat. So it still wasn't a lot, but like they would say like 4 viewers or something, but no one was commenting, so we couldn't see. We didn't know who they were.
Yeah, I got you.
So that's why I guess I could delete that now. Should I?
Yeah, I guess.
What's up, YouTube? What up? Hello. Today we're gonna do ASMR.
What is that?
I actually don't know how intense
You-
this is.
wait,
Do you
can you
hear
do
that? Yeah,
Is
I
that
do,
you?
actually. No, it's not. I know. I hear it though. Thought it was that fridge.
Oh, it probably is.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Sounds like something on that. Oh, okay. It's like, damn.
Good ear.
Yeah, right?
Oh wait, I always you gotta record it for it to save.
Yeah, so then you can go back.
Yeah, I guess I can just download it from YouTube, but it's easier to just save it to the file right from here.
Christian
You know.
moved in today, man. Did you see all
Dude.
that? It's crazy, just like that. Just like that, man.
No, I actually didn't see the videos. I saw them. I turned off my Snapchat notifications, and then I went in like when I was in the car or something, and I saw that he was sending videos.
Yeah, his whole like drive, I think
I was sending
every hour he was like sending videos. and
Oh,
stuff.
nice.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It is crazy. It's
But-
good for him though.
Yeah, oh my
it's gonna
God,
be
yeah.
a great experience. I think.
And it looks like a really nice place, honestly. Like he sent just a
Really?
video of the room, and it
Fuck
looked
yeah,
like quality.
that's
you know?
awesome.
Yeah, and my sister got a apartment too.
Really?
Yeah, it's just
Where at?
Not too far. I think.
Conchi.
Yeah, I believe.
Really?
So.
Yeah, a lot of people are
something
moving
like
to Conchi.
that. And it's like good price, only like $1,500 a month. Not terrible.
That's not too bad.
Not
Yeah.
bad. Stuff like that. Looks
Fuck
nice.
yeah.
So
Fuck
she's
yeah.
starting that in September, I think. Everybody
Nice.
moving. For,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
2 questions. 1, do you ever think about moving out?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. All I want to do is get out of there.
Yeah. What holds you back?
Money.
Mm.
It's really it. Trying to figure out what I want to do is really
Yeah.
the toughest part. I think like right now, if I was gonna move in with someone else, I could.
Yeah. If you split the rent. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I would definitely have to, cut down on spending.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like, I was thinking about getting a second job anyway, just like
Yeah.
something for my
Yeah.
career, just get more money. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Just trying to
totally.
like stack up as much money as
Yeah.
I can. But I think I could do it now, and I mean, hopefully in I don't know the next year or two, I
Yeah.
can really like get out of there and have my own place and be settled. Sort
Yeah.
of like start getting into a rhythm of just like having my own.
Hell yeah. Totally.
Because damn, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It's,
It
it just gets to a point where it's like you don't want to be there.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And you're around like, not that there's anything wrong with being around your parents, but when you're at our age, it's like you'd rather hang out with like a friend who's a roommate
Exactly.
or like
Exactly.
either way, you just want to do your own thing, but you're in their house, so like
Yeah.
you're around them inevitably.
Yeah, like, and it's not even so much of being around them 24/7 because I'm not.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of just like I'm in the house. They're wondering what I'm doing. Like it's just
Yeah.
when you're living apart, there's a different type of relationship.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
So it's like
Definitely.
I don't know. It can be annoying for sure.
Definitely.
But I hope in the next year I'll be able to get out of
Yeah.
there.
And you're under like their roof, their rules,
Mhm. There's always annoying shit.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
But,
totally.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's the main reason my sister was like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm sure. Again, she lived on her own with her fiance, didn't she?
Yeah,
and then
for 2 years
Yeah.
or something. So and then having to come back, she was like, I was devastated.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not surprised.
yeah,
you know what I
she
mean?
felt like fuck this.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
But
Also,
yeah.
do you, just because my phone's the camera, do you want to go on the YouTube and send the link in like Rado or something?
Yeah, I got you.
Or whatever
I'm sending the
group chat.
Don't worry. Yeah. Send in the link. Do I sound good?
I know, like I'm going straight.
What'd you say?
I wonder how like in the ears I am right now.
Anybody wearing headphones out there? Yeah, we should just keep whisper. Little ASMR. Yeah, if you pull it up on the video, like hit play, and then we'll hear our voices. Stop talking for a second.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I felt like fuck this.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hear it.
Also,
Ears I am Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. All right, hold
That's
on,
good.
I'll send the link.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Great stuff.
I'm glad it was fucking nice out today and not
Yeah,
fucking
raining
rainstorm.
for the
how it
past
has
like
been the
4
last week.
days.
Yeah.
That shit was terrible.
Crazy. Thank you for doing that. I always feel bad because
For
I
what?
asked like the guest or whoever it is to do it,
To do what?
to send out the link,
Oh, it's
even
not-
though
it's not-
I don't know.
Takes 2 seconds.
I guess I could. Maybe I could get the link beforehand somehow,
You definitely can.
or just even go on now and then like pause the camera.
Yeah.
You know,
No, yeah. I don't know.
I don't think it'll mess up the 0 viewers. Yeah.
think it'll mess up the pod.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows?
So now we wait.
Oh yeah.
Now we wait.
That's when it gets really fun too, when they're like in here commenting. One viewer.
Agree.
Oh wait, it might just be you on
No,
your
not
phone.
anymore.
Oh really? Hell yeah.
Close that shit. Someone's in here. Refresh the chat. I didn't know you could do that. That's awesome.
What?
Top right. Refresh chat.
Oh yeah. It normally is pretty good.
Yeah, is it quick? Or
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I don't know when they type it, but who's the one viewer? Comment your name if you're out there.
You're out there. I know you are.
Yeah.
Peeping.
Someone's chilling. Alrighty, yeah. What should we talk about?
I remember you having this, by the way. It's a great fucking
Yeah, right. That one's been around for a long time.
so long. I love that because like anywhere you look, it's something new. You know,
Yeah.
it's just the best thing about
Yep.
it. Mm.
Yeah, I've had that poster for so long, and I still like find new shit in it.
I assume
All the
at some
time.
point we'll get into the whole like space and life.
Yeah,
you know what I
oh,
mean? I feel
definitely.
like that always happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this really reminds me of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just like, damn, dude. Like,
Yeah, it is a cool fucking poster. And every time I look at it too, I'm like, damn, there's a lot of random cool stuff in there. Like this one, it's like a baby in the womb, but it's like a
dude.
bubble floating through space.
And this looks like a face.
Yeah.
I mean, the
It's like a
mountain
hot
and the
air
eyes.
balloon and one, like the mouth is like the hot air balloon.
Yeah,
in front or
and then the eyes
something.
are the mountain or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Stairway to heaven. Crazy.
How's work going, by the way?
It's going pretty good. Nothing crazy. I mean, it's work.
I feel you.
It's like
Learning the ropes.
yeah, definitely still learning the ropes. I think I'll be doing that for a while. There's like, so I understand almost nothing. You know.
I can imagine it being really difficult.
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
after you're-
Yeah. It's way like
complicated.
different than school. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. But it doesn't even seem like it'll be that crazy difficult. It's just like I think the learning of it will be difficult, but once you have it down, it's not as bad. There's just like so many acronyms for random shit, and they have like if you think about it, and like they're as organized as they can be with all their documents and stuff, and all the people who work there are very fluent at like navigating where to look for what types of documents, but they have like 4 or 5 different systems, like programs where they keep files for stuff, but there's like specifications of certain things that the company does, and then there's drawings of like certain pieces, and there's other ones that are like in a whole different area that are
Right,
like
right.
official, like fully official release, and there's other
Yeah,
ones that are
okay,
like
okay.
this was true at one time, but we
Right.
don't know if it is, you know. And
Right,
there's just so much stuff, and I spent like 4 hours the one day trying to go through all the documents, like
Really?
finding just to like make something simple.
Yeah.
And but there's like a bunch of like in school where they would just be like, all right, pick a number, and if it works, great. So we were just like pick a number, see if it worked, and then great.
Right.
But there's like certain standards and stuff that they use. So I was like going through the documents trying to find them, and I found them all finally. And then I asked someone about it, and he was like, oh yeah, like don't use any. Were you gonna use these sizes? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, no. And then he just like rattled off like, well, because you're using aluminum 750, like
Like, he just
that
had the
radius is gonna be
knowledge.
0.256
Yeah,
if
that's
it's an inside corner,
That's crazy.
and the outside's gonna be like 0.125. And I was like, how'd you know that? Like, where could I find that? And he was like, oh, that you'll just learn it. I'm like, all right, yeah,
cool,
yeah.
Is it like a giant database of just like information that
Yes,
everybody?
several
can use?
databases with
Damn,
like,
dude.
because think about it, like a helicopter, there's probably millions
Oh my
of
God,
components. If you count every rivet, every nut, every bolt, every wire, every pressurized thing, every radio, every button in the cockpit, you know what I mean?
different
They've got
parts
like
of the-
10 different explanations
yeah.
for every single one of those things, and they're all in different spots. And then there's like, okay, so you want to find this one piece, but or like not even necessarily. I don't even know enough to give good examples of
Yeah.
where it gets confusing because the whole thing is
It's
just
just
confusing for me.
confusing.
Yeah. But like, there's different types of information in different spots, and it's hard to find like
Is it not
what's
like-
relevant
yeah,
and what
okay, I
isn't,
see.
and it's all in like very specific lingo.
Yeah.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
Yeah, like I see.
Like,
Like, shit you gotta learn.
Parts A, B, D, specs from BCS-300-2,
Yeah, okay.
but
Yeah, that's
if applicable, then use whatever other random number.
yeah.
Like,
Jesus, man.
so then you look up that thing and you're like, how does this even apply? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But it's all right. I think it's just because it's the beginning.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
Yeah, once you're in the rhythm.
Yeah. The people are all really nice. So we went to Topgolf yesterday.
Oh,
like
really?
10 or 12
That's
of
cool.
us after.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple younger people. There's one dude, Jimmy. What were you?
There was, I think you told me there you had like, I think last time you mentioned something about there were other new recruits or something, new hires that were like your age, that
Yeah,
were starting. Or
They
something.
actually just started on Friday, and I met the one guy, John. He sits behind me and in front of the Jimmy
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
Actually, he seems pretty cool. He's a year older than us. I thought he was fresh out of school, because I asked my boss. I was like, "Oh, are these new people?" Because there was other new people, but they were like had been there for 10 years and just like transferred to this program or whatever. So they weren't like actually
Okay, I
newbies.
Yeah.
And I like asked him about the people starting last week, and he was like, "Oh yeah, they're like newbies like you, like fresh and young
Fresh,
or whatever."
Yeah, yeah.
So I assumed he meant like they're right out of school. By
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
he's like only like 1 year out of school, and then
Oh, okay.
um
Still relatively.
yeah,
young,
yeah,
you know,
definitely
chill.
very like young and chill. And it's actually funny. He knows someone I lived with senior year at South Carolina. He ran track with him
Yeah, that's
in
great.
high school. Isn't that
Small
crazy?
world,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, right.
Shit.
Yeah,
Well, damn, bro. I'm glad it's going well and everything. You know,
yeah, it's going pretty good.
good coworkers
It's,
and all that.
Yeah, everyone does seem. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, there's like a couple other young people there who aren't like new people. The one, I think he said he's been working for like 5 years, so I guess he's 27, 20,
Oh, okay, yeah.
26 to
Yeah.
28. But he's like normal and chill.
Yeah,
There's this other younger girl, Christina. She's maybe like 3 years older than us. She's chill. So another dude, he's older. He's like 37, but he's very like chill and nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, seems
Like, yeah. just,
yeah.
you know,
seems like it'll be good. They
feel you.
seem nice.
Good.
The one dude, Jimmy, I'm doing. We were just like talking about stuff, and he was like, "Oh, like have you ever heard of like the Savage Race things, like the Muddy Runner things or whatever? What are they called?
Oh,
Tough Mudders or like the where you? It's like a race. It's not super long. It's like 6 miles or something, but there's like obstacles and
yeah, I
like
think I have heard of that.
you have
It
to like
sounds
jump in the
similar
mud
to-
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds
So-
me of the Color Run or something. Have you ever
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. But yeah, he said there's like a group of them doing that. So I was like, yeah, I feel like I just want to like get to know them better because right now I feel like I'm a nuisance because I know they don't
You're
look at
asking
me as a
questions and
nuisance,
stuff.
but I feel like a nuisance because they're trying to get shit done, and I'm just like,
Hey, how do
hey,
we
can
do
you
this?
explain this basic ass?
Yeah.
It'd be like if like you had a roommate and he was a nice guy and he was a nice guy and everything, but he like kept having like computer problems that you knew exactly how to
Yeah.
fix. It was like the most basic, like,
Yeah.
oh dude, the HDMI isn't plugged in, you know, like stupid shit like
yeah,
that all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time. Like instead constantly asking you. Like that's how I feel. But
I get you. But, you know, that's just part of the
Yeah,
process.
that's part of the
Like, you've
process,
said it,
yeah.
they've been in that same exact position.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
So it's like,
yeah, they all learn the lingo somehow.
yeah.
Do you want another?
Yeah, sure. Appreciate it. I know there's some chatters out there. I know there's some viewers. Comment your names, man.
Spam them in the group chat.
I sent something. I figured.
Say something explicit.
100%.
I'm gonna try to put my
You just want to like hold it from the side, bro. Like
and like push it down.
not even like that. Like if you hold it like like this, and then just pry up. You know what I mean?
All right, guys. So
Oh yeah, nice.
Woody's Mason saw it. Mason, get on the pod. I'll text it to Connor. Yeah, I did. He told me to text him when the pod's running.
He says no to hanging out every time.
Yeah.
The least he can do is join the
Join the
podcast
pod, yeah,
from home.
exactly. That's what I was like, yo, come to the pod tonight. Let's do a little tripod. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, man.
Like, all right.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah, I guess we'll just tripod from the comments. Hopefully.
Oh my god, yeah. Yesterday I watched this like video on dementia and stuff like that. Yeah, just because I was like, I was curious about it. I saw it for a while, and pretty much the video goes through like phases of like the first stage of dementia and like until the very end,
Yeah.
and just watching it all unfold. Like pretty much it goes like from like my grandfather, he passed away from dementia, and like it's in the family, you know what I mean? So I always like do think about it just a little bit, and it's just such a like brutal disease, genuinely, because you start with everything, and pretty much like obviously by the end you can't even like your mind is like a TV kind of just flipping through channels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't really focus on anything, can barely even get a word out.
Yeah.
You can't even, your body pretty much just like betrays you, and,
Yeah.
and that was like such a, I don't know, man. It's such a weird thought, you know what I
Dude.
mean? Because like think about it, like what would it be like to actually be in that
Yeah.
position, you know what I mean? Like what
To
do you
like not
actually
remember
think?
what you did 5
Yeah,
minutes
exactly.
ago.
And
yeah.
not even so much of the remembering, but like what do you see, because a big thing was like that a lot of these people with especially like late stage Alzheimer's, like they hallucinate and stuff.
Really?
I mean, yeah, so like you see stuff that isn't there, or you think like, excuse me, the person on the TV is like talking to you.
Damn.
Like, some shit
I
like
didn't
that.
know it was like that.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought it
like-
was like you just can't remember
remember.
what you did. Like you'll brush your teeth and then like get in bed and be like, oh, I didn't brush my teeth. You know what I mean?
No. From what I understand, it's like your memory's almost I don't know, not like, it's hard to explain. Just very like you think things like people, or even just like I swear,
Yeah.
like even
but
just
you
like
hallucinate.
yeah, like any a memory kind of becomes
reality.
reality. Yeah, exactly, or sort of
Interesting.
like that. That's what I understood from it. But like there was also this whole I forget what the artist's name was, but someone made a like soundtrack that pretty much goes to this, which is sort of like the stages of dementia or something.
Yeah.
And pretty much like the music starts like clear in like the first song, and by the end it's like these very distorted sounds.
Oh.
And, like, like super just all over the place. And
Is it on YouTube?
yeah, I forget what it's called. Let me look it up. Hold up.
The dementia song? Like it was an actual song?
Yeah.
Song that represents dementia.
Or it was like an album.
Oh, it was a whole album?
Yeah.
The Caretaker?
Yeah, The Caretaker. That was it. Yep. And pretty
6
much it
hours,
goes,
30 minutes?
Yeah, it goes
That's the
through
one.
these-
Okay.
Have you ever seen a wealthy person
come
or a
on.
wealthy
It
family,
goes through these
This guy, you kidding me?
jet owner, like
pretty much the stages of dementia, and like how it just progresses and worsens and stuff like that. And each album cover or whatever, which is like
Each one
you're
is an
seeing.
album.
yeah, and yeah. And
Each stage is an
you
album.
can listen to it. It's not like
I mean,
actual songs, but as you get like later into it, the cover becomes more distorted and like
hallucination.
yeah. Like
this
so by
one
the
looks like a
end-
prison door.
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
of.
By the end, it's just like that's just like a doorway boarded up and like taped over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just like describes like, and if you listen to like at the beginning, if you play something
Sure.
now, right? It's like very. It's very.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just very like clear and sort
Yeah.
of just like representing music. You go to the end and it's like.
Yeah, this is very childish, fresh eyes, childishly fresh.
You go to the end. and it's like these distorted sounds and like this kind of like it feels like you're in a void almost, like this emptiness,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it just like gets crazier because it's just more of just like nothing. Like when I
Yeah.
listen to that, it just feels like you're in a giant empty
Yeah,
space,
yeah.
You know? Like,
And it's like zooming out into space
mm-hmm,
or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly, just like.
Damn.
And I mean, I highly recommend the video. I don't know who it was by, but shout out to that guy. It's a great video. Very.
How many views does that have? 1.2 million
Yeah,
likes.
yeah, that, yeah.
35 million views.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
I wonder how many people watched the whole thing.
probably. I think the video's name was "The Fear of Forgetting" or something. It's pretty good.
One of these comments is when your advanced dementia gets interrupted by a honey ad.
That's good, bro. Yeah, no, it's "The Fear of Forgetting" by Clark Ellison, and he made it. I highly recommend that video. It's very.
The guy who made this.
Yeah, he's the guy, or not the guy that made that album, but the guy that.
Oh, made the video explaining the
Explaining-
stages.
yeah,
Yeah. Look at this comment. I just wrote a very long message about my feelings on this, and then YouTube crashed, deleting all of it. Seems appropriate.
Yeah, it sounds about right. 257,000 comments, dude. What
Wow.
the hell, man?
I didn't even see that.
That's
That is a
crazy.
lot. How many does like a Mr. Beast video get?
Not that, bro. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't think.
So if he
That's
gets
deep, dude.
how many fucking million views a
You see
video?
Mr. Beast is getting canceled, dude.
Why is he getting canceled?
So I'm out with his team. I didn't really like. Watch
Oh,
it
really?
all, but
He
like,
hired or he had a trans guy. How could he get canceled? You know what I
I
mean?
think the people he hired were like pedophiles or something.
Oh,
or, yeah,
yeah.
like they're into.
The trans guy.
Yeah, exactly right.
Dude, it's crazy that every single video he gets is in the hundreds of millions or higher.
11 million. 100 decide. Ages 1 to 100 decides who wins $250,000. Like,
Wow.
pretty much, bro.
250 million.
I mean, he's got a whole team and shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a. These are.
Yeah, this is a corporation.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just some dude making videos anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, his income is probably unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Like, think about that.
Yeah.
220 million views. Like,
That's insane.
you're bigger than most, like, primetime television.
Oh,
like, channels,
definitely.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Like,
genuinely.
by orders of magnitude. Let's look up CNN's
I
ratings.
figured, like, CNN.
They probably, I would
on,
guess
like,
they
a
get
peak.
2 million a night.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that.
For the month of June, top destination for cable viewers, top 5. In daytime programs, CNN surpassed MSNBC by 17%, 108,000.
That's it. Damn,
That's
dude.
it.
He's got a whole he got everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, because and then that makes sense. I mean, obviously, why he gets so many sponsorships or whatever else.
Yeah.
Maybe because think about all the people he broadcast. Like, his influence is crazy. you know
So
what I mean?
crazy. So much reach.
But like,
How
I
many
feel like I
comments?
can't watch his videos.
85,000,
85,000. Yeah, that's crazy.
You feel like you can't watch his videos?
Mhm.
Why? They're kind of cheesy sometimes.
Not even cheesy. I mean, like, I don't know. Just seem more for, the audience he kind of panders to. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I think his videos are forever. Like, anybody can
They're-
watch his videos.
they're
I mean,
entertaining.
They're entertaining.
Yeah.
Videos, yeah. But sometimes it just feels too like cookie cutter.
Yeah,
almost, you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Not just like too, I guess, overly produced.
It's like
rather than
too
just being-
perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than just being like, some dude.
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
videos.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's definitely very perfect sometimes, and he seems almost like fake nice, happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, dude.
But also, he could just be very happy-go-lucky because
It's fucking
he just
wild.
loved making YouTube videos and then
Yeah.
did it all the time, and now
I
is
don't know, man.
one of the most successful of all
I mean,
time.
yeah, the shit I'm hearing isn't even like about him. It's just like about the people that work.
Oh,
with him.
really?
But like apparently he like
Yeah.
knew or something.
He's never gonna get like
yeah,
he's
like,
too deep in
big.
to cancel.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if like people are like no more Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I would be extremely
He's
surprised.
getting not 100 million views a
Yeah.
video. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that shit's crazy.
I wonder what the minimum amount of views he could ever get is. Because, like, he would never... Excuse me. It would be impossible for him to post a video and get 0 views. You
Unless-
know what I mean?
yeah. Oh,
Like, there's...
never gonna happen.
Yeah, never, ever
Ever
gonna
since-
happen.
yeah.
So, like, what's the lowest? Like, what if he posts, like, the worst production quality video? It's like a flip phone quality, and it's just, like
480p.
6 second,
like,
yeah,
terrible.
480p, it's like 6 seconds of someone's like feet as they're like walking down the street or something. Like how many views does that get?
At least 1 million.
At least a million.
Like,
Oh,
at least,
yeah,
you know
probably
what I
at
mean?
least
Like,
50 million because
yeah,
people are
right?
going to see
Like, come
Mr.
on.
Beast. Let me see
Exactly.
that. Yeah,
Like what the hell? I think honestly.
that might get more.
Yeah, exactly. Like because we all gonna be like, what the hell? Is this?
yeah. They're going to be like looking for the secret message and it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're going to be like, Mr.
Like,
Beast
what is he
wouldn't just
doing,
post this. Yeah.
Where's the $100 million giveaway? Like I swear, I think I don't know.
Yeah.
That shit would be crazy. It's a good question.
Yeah.
How many views would he get?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. People, I wonder if that's ever hard for him, like, because before he would just make videos for fun and do random shit, and now like they've gotten bigger and better, which is awesome and great for him. But now he's like every video is a huge, big
Yeah, I don't know if I would ever,
ordeal.
like want to be that big though. You know?
Yeah, I don't. That's what I mean. Like, I wonder if sometimes he's like, and he would probably never say this on a podcast because people would come at him being like, wow, you're so entitled, whatever. But I wonder if he ever thinks like, this is awesome. I got so big, but I kind of wish I could just be
just
me
some
and like
dude.
come up
Yeah.
with some random
Exactly,
video
yeah.
and go film it in my backyard and post it.
Yeah, and I believe
But
a
if he
lot of
did that
people
now, people would be
do
like,
that.
damn, Mr. Beast is going downhill. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Nah. And
What
I
happened with Mr. Beast's team?
I don't know. I think like it's tough when you have
Yeah.
that many like eyes on you and everything. I mean, because not only, I don't know, especially when you get like a whole team of people, you're not just worrying about yourself. You're worrying
Yeah.
about your brand, your company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All the people that work for you. And
You
they
got to
do
pay
this.
them. Yeah, or they
And
got
it
families.
becomes this kind of giant like structure, and then it's like, okay, well now like I can't let it just all crumble down. you
Yeah,
know?
totally.
So I totally understand how it could be like, oh, I just want to record a video in my room or something. But I don't know. I never really watched his videos or anything, but it seems like he's not the kind of guy that would want to go back to doing that. I think,
Yeah,
like his whole
he
goal,
definitely does enjoy it.
Yeah, like he
yeah.
wants to do these big, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, crazy
Yeah,
videos. Like,
yeah,
That
totally.
was always his goal, was to just like blow up and get to
Yeah,
be the biggest YouTuber.
yeah.
It's like, hey man, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then you get all the eyes on you, man. Like I would just get too like, no,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? 'Cause-
Yeah, I feel like you definitely need to be like a certain type of personality to, and I'm not this type of personality, even though I've been doing this Pat Pot thing, but like, I'm not expecting this to get big like Mr. Beast or Joe Rogan.
no, yeah.
And like to be that type of person, I feel like you have to have like that type of mentality of like, I'm the guy in front of the camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
you know, I totally get you. No, I totally get you.
the comments be like, I'm on the screen and I should be.
Yes,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Like
yeah,
this kind of confidence almost. I
yeah,
get you.
yeah, definitely.
I think, like, I think it's definitely a skill to be on camera. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, it's not.
It's not natural.
Yeah, to be well, I think talking to a camera, being like, "Hey guys, welcome
Yeah.
to my YouTube."
Yeah,
video,"
that's
you know what I
very-
mean? Like,
yeah.
that's where it gets weird. And I think if you have that skill and that's something you're like, you want to be like, you know, big in the space, then you can definitely do it. But also, it comes with like, Mr. Beast probably has like not as much freedom because he's so big. Think
Yeah.
about that. Like, don't get me wrong, he has a lot of financial freedom and he can do whatever he comes to mind, but he has so many viewers, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you need to pander to this big ass audience.
Yeah.
So he can't do like, oh, that's offensive, take that out, or
Yeah.
I can't do this. You know what I mean? You just
Exactly.
got to be walking on eggshells, which I
Yeah.
think kind of diminishes the content.
Totally.
You know, because
Totally.
you can kind of express yourself how you want.
Yeah.
I don't
Excuse
know.
me. I wonder how much he. I know exactly what you mean. I wonder. I wish like we could ask him about that because his videos seem
not
like
like
they've
that,
always been very like family friendly. You know what I
Totally
mean? Like
agree, yeah.
G-rated
Yeah.
stuff, but yeah, I wonder if he ever just wants to do a video where it's like
Yeah.
crazy, dangerous stunts for
Yeah,
cash.
I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
yeah. I
Like
would
we got
assume so.
5 homeless people, and we're gonna see if they can jump over this bus on a bicycle. You know,
Yeah.
or like something like
Yeah,
that.
That's true. No, I don't know.
They
I-
signed this waiver agreeing to it, so
yeah, it's
we're
all
fine.
completely ethical.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I don't know. I think probably the checks that he's getting, you know, he doesn't really mind too much. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
The money coming in has got to be insane, though. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
Yeah.
I heard that is like he's got a whole warehouse for his people or something, and he's got like crazy, like
Yeah.
decked out computers, like wildly expensive parts
Yeah.
and everything.
I'm
it's like
sure.
a huge facility. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's
I
like-
believe it's probably like a complex.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, they
But I
probably
mean-
have an outdoor space for filming videos.
Oh,
you know,
definitely. Dude.
yeah,
Yeah. Gotta be something. But having that freedom is gotta be awesome.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
despite
totally.
all the other shit.
definitely. I would imagine it's much more positive than negative.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
only thing is I just would feel like everybody's being like fake, you know.
Yeah,
when you
that
get to
is
point. And I think that
definitely
kind of
true.
goes for like any
Yeah.
musical artist like Kanye or something. Like you can't really trust people when they're so big, you know.
Or Joe Rogan.
Yeah, exactly. Like how many people want to be Joe Rogan's friend?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
If you got the chance.
I want to be Joe Rogan's
exactly.
friend. Yeah.
So it's like I don't blame you, but
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah, that really is.
blowing a lot of
True.
smoke up the ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 I wouldn't want that.
I-
That's for sure.
I feel like if you get that big, like you just have to. I feel like if you get that big and you weren't that big at like a young age, like the only people you know are like really true good friends or your friends from before.
Oh,
you
I
know?
totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that, I mean, this comes down to like, you know, having a small circle, you know.
Yeah.
If you're someone that like wants to have so many friends, then
Yeah.
it's going to be like, you know, different, obviously.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah.
I bet that's got to be annoying. Like,
Oh,
I bet everyone wants to be his friend, and everyone who is genuinely friends with him, all of their friends are probably like, hey, like, can you set up a dinner with Joe or something?
Yeah. Oh my god.
And
yeah,
then
dude.
and then I'm sure a bunch of them are like, no, that's annoying to him. I've heard him complain about that. Like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. But there definitely is a certain amount of people that are like, yeah, fuck yeah, like I'll
let's
ask him
do
right
it.
now. Yeah,
exactly. And it's like he could care less.
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Which
Yeah,
I don't blame him. You know.
yeah, yeah. How the fuck does he plan his? He
I
must
mean-
be so busy. You know what I mean?
Oh my god. Like, but he guys probably gets a lot of requests to like people that want to do the
Dude,
show.
he's
like,
got to get
you know what I mean?
invited
Like,
to. Yeah, so many requests
Yeah,
of people doing
yeah.
the show. He probably gets invited to everything. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like on his weekends, like how does he? Like, there's no way. I feel like there's no way there's a Saturday night and he's like, man, like I wish I had something to do tonight.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean?
Yeah, every Saturday he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
that's crazy. No,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely not. I mean, how many viewers does he pull? Like, he's the biggest podcast,
Like
right?
10+ million an
Oh my
episode.
God.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's insane.
Because I was gonna say like
He is the number one, and
Yeah,
he's been there like
for years.
it's
right?
yeah. He's been there for like, we should look it up how many years. But like people are always shifting below him. Like
But he's
the 2
always
to
number
10 is
one.
always fluctuating, and he's
But he
always
stays
at the top.
Nah, good for him.
Yeah. Let's look up.
He does have. He is a very good interviewer, and even like
He
he,
is.
does the UFC commentary or whatever, and
Yeah.
that is like great. Man.
He's
He
very
kills
good at that
He's
too.
good at that, yeah.
That's another thing about like he's such a good interviewer, but it just seems like a normal conversation.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
I feel like he's so comfortable on camera because
Yeah,
he's
oh
been
my
doing
God.
stand up since he was like 21, younger than
And
us,
he
and
was
he's
like
like
one of the first
56.
podcasters.
Yeah,
right?
he was like
like
literally
early.
one of the like
yeah.
2008 or something.
Yeah, because I remember these old like episodes. It looks like he's being filmed on like a camcorder. or
Yeah, it
something.
was a
Like, it was, like,
camcorder,
crazy,
yeah.
dude.
Let's see when the first episode of Joe Rogan aired. Let me show
I
you my
mean, nah,
screen.
he definitely deserves. You know,
2009.
That's crazy, dude.
25 or 15 years. Nuts. And yeah, there's like snowflakes on the screen in the first episode.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Um,
Damn, dude. He has a couple specials, right? I know.
Yeah, he
Does
does have a couple
special or
specials.
something?
Yeah.
I thought he had a new.
yeah, he does have a new special. You're right. I heard him talk about it in a podcast recently, and it's been like 6 years since.
The last one or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. No, I
wanna
think it's
watch
on
that.
Netflix or something.
Yeah,
That's-
probably.
that's cool.
Yeah, episode.
Remember Chris D'Elia? Have you ever heard of that guy?
Chris D'Elia. Yes, the dark haired guy who had like this
Yes.
not
he
a full
looks-
beard, but yeah. Didn't something happen with him? Did
Yeah,
he get
so he
like,
got like
canceled or something?
hard,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. So I used to love Chris D'Elia. I used to watch his listen to his podcast like all the time. It was like one of the main things that would like get me through my workday.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just wanted to look
And,
that.
no, you're good. And I I remember it was, and that was like during COVID, and you know I think he started his podcast in like 2017 or something. So it was
Sounds right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I like was definitely late to catching up to it and all, but I don't know if it was 2021 or something, but around there he got exposed for. He had this whole thing on his podcast that was like.
Oh god.
I want to have a cult, like you guys.
It was like
are
a segment. Like he
wasn't
would
even
do
like
it
a
like
segment, it was, like,
recurring,
his
or it was
thing,
like a
like-
one episode thing.
No, it was like his thing every time. It was like,
Oh.
you guys are my babies. Like, this is my cult. If you want to be a part of the cult, then share the podcast.
Yeah.
And, like, do all this shit.
It was like his like way of trying to be like funny marketing.
Yeah,
type
exactly.
Thing. Yeah.
And it turned out like apparently he like actually wanted to have a cult or something, to some regard. Like he pretty much like, I don't know if he would. If it was like underage girls, I believe it was.
Oh my god.
But he would like try and talk to these underage girls, and he had like a Snapchat like
Holy
hidden and
shit.
shit, and he didn't know that you could save stuff on Snapchat. So like she's was going crazy on there, and shit gets saved. And apparently he would like control these girls. And it would be like like you can't wear that or like. He pretty much just wanted like all these girls living in one house,
Oh,
so then he could go like a harem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what
and
he
like
wanted.
it would like got to the point like did he have a house?
He did have a house, and there was like 2 girls I think living in it or something. And,
Wow.
yeah, and he was like really manipulative, and he had a wife. Like he has a wife. It's still like same girl.
Holy shit.
And, yeah, it apparently got crazy, and like this is all like obviously like I don't know if it's all allegedly. I
Like,
think
how
he
much
did
is
get-
true, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But yeah, so and I know that there was some settlement in court, and so he didn't have to go to jail or anything or whatever.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, apparently he's just like a sexual deviant. Like,
Damn.
Yeah, which is
I
crazy.
knew something sexual
and like
happened
everybody
with him, but
cut him
is
out.
he like completely off the map now?
Not even completely. Like now I think he took like a year off and he started coming back. He still does his podcast, but I haven't listened to it in
Yeah.
forever. But he still does that, and he did release a special that he put on like
Okay.
his own website or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like nobody from what I can understand like associates with him
Yeah.
anymore. Like you don't ever see any
Really?
other
All the other
comedians.
comics like
Yeah, like it's just like
blocked him out.
just
yeah.
him, you know what I mean? Like that's the only thing you ever see on social media or
Damn.
like his podcast. His podcast also was a solo podcast. That was like one of the big reasons I liked it because it was just kind of like
Yeah.
him talking to the
Yeah,
audience
yeah.
and goofing off, and it kind of felt like stand up almost.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? But yeah, he did that,
Wow.
and like now I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it because like obviously all that shit that I heard about him is crazy,
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
that's true, then it's like I can't like this guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he is, I
I-
think his podcast is definitely good, and he has his moments.
I think
you know?
I think it's fair to I know exactly how you feel. It's fair to like someone most of the time. Like you can like 90% of what someone does, and then well, that's an extreme example. I was gonna say, and then if they kill someone, like obviously you don't agree with that, but you can still like
respect the
like
art.
the person.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I get
respect
you.
the art.
yeah. Art, separate the art from the person.
Yeah,
kinda, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah, that's
Yeah, and like, I guess I was thinking more in terms of like agreeing or disagreeing about certain issues, like
Oh, okay.
it just
Yeah.
which doesn't necessarily apply if what he did was like he actually did it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean?
Who really knows the truth at all behind those things?
exactly, and it's tough to know. But
I bet
like-
so many of those stories get so
crazy
convoluted
and all over
by
the place. Yeah, I
the
agree.
media.
And I think that like that's really the tough part is like once there's a public opinion made of someone, it's like set in stone. Like everybody else is like, all right, I'm getting in line, I'm following that, instead of someone actually doing research and making their own opinion. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and even if it's not necessarily true.
Yeah, and so it's like, I don't get me wrong. I think that everything that happened with him or whatever, like there was a lot of evidence to
Yeah,
corroborate it.
it
and
seemed pretty true.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems pretty solid. And the fact that he is like, cut out and you don't really see him,
Yeah.
kind of says a lot. But I still can't help but like sort of like him.
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
comedian
totally.
and like respect the work that he does.
Yeah, and like, yeah, exactly. You can like certain parts of a person and not others, and that's like not only is that fine, that's normal.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
just tough because
Again, let me know.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it's just once everybody makes a opinion on them, it's you kind of have to follow it almost. It feels like you
Yeah.
should. Like, okay, I can't like this person anymore because if I
Because
do,
everyone else
then-
doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
That's
if
like
people
the-
are like, yo, you like that person? Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
That's like
It's tough.
social or like human psychology. I don't. It's like that's like
Very
such a staple of
basic,
human
yeah.
psychology. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think this, but it seems like everyone else does.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I guess I do. I should think that because if 99 people think one thing and I think something different, clearly I'm in the wrong.
Exactly.
But what if they're most people are just doing or saying whatever because they think that's what other people think they should say. So like,
It's brutal.
so many people, you don't really know what they actually think.
Like,
Like I
yeah,
bet a bunch of the
yeah,
people
yeah,
that
that's a
you
good point.
hear talking, oh yeah, Chris D'Elia is terrible, blah blah blah, and that makes you feel like, oh, I should dislike him. I bet a bunch of them are still like, you know what, like I really
Kinda
don't
like
hate
him.
this guy, but everyone else is hating on him.
Yeah,
Let's
so
go
I hate
for
on
it.
him.
Yeah.
that is true. Yeah, like people put up like sort of a facade almost. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
tough. And I think, I don't know. There's a lot of people that I feel like there's been shit like that. Like the
Yeah.
cancel culture and all that
Yeah.
is such a very like prevalent thing, I feel like online, especially nowadays. Like say the one wrong thing and you're gone.
Yeah.
You know? Even if it's a joke, no matter what, people crucify you for just like what you say.
I feel like I feel like it is starting to swing a little bit. Do you agree with that? Swing like back the other way? Because I feel like there was a peak of it. Like it was, nothing was that crazy, and then slowly there was more. You would see, for I guess the umbrella term, woke stuff. Like you'd see trans
Yeah,
stuff,
no,
whatever,
no.
and that's all good and fine. And then it kind of like turned violent. It seemed like at a certain point to where if you weren't like outwardly pro-trans, then you were a bigot or whatever.
Right,
you know
right,
what I
exactly.
mean? Like
No, I
it
totally-
seemed
yeah,
like it
yeah.
started off just like all like pride and love, which is good, and then it got like violent for a while, and people
Yeah.
like were getting canceled and shit.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
no one would say or do anything because exactly like you said earlier, oh, everyone
Hive
else
mind.
thinks this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm such an asshole if I don't think that. I'm gonna think with
Right,
the good
right,
guys.
right.
You know what I mean? And then the good guys were canceling everyone and everything. And I feel like now we're just in the last like 6 months or a year, it feels like people aren't talking about it as much. You know what I mean? Like it used to get
I definitely
talked
agree.
about
It was like
all
a
the
witch
time.
hunt before. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
exactly.
If you don't,
An active witch
if you
hunt.
don't agree with it, then you're in the wrong and like get them out of here.
Yeah.
Cancel that person. you know?
Yeah. Every day someone was canceled.
Yeah, and I hate that shit.
Yeah.
That is like one of the like worst things, honestly, about the internet. I feel is that it's such the screen like really gives people a sort of feeling of like armor. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
like
yeah.
they say whatever, but then in real life it's like I don't know. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
100%.
and that kind of. And nowadays, like, this is a whole nother thing, but the, like, dead internet theory, I don't know if you ever heard
No.
of that. Pretty much that, like, everything you see on the internet is, like, it's so diluted by, like, bots and fake, that, like, nothing is
Yeah.
real and that, like, pretty much, like, the actual people that are, like, real users, people that actually are speaking out, like me, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, are just a small percentage of what you actually see
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
internet. It could just be, like, AI, fake
Totally.
bots,
Yeah.
because on Twitter, you can easily set up a bot and it'll just send something. But
So easily.
yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
And other countries would have a vested interest in making our personal within our country, like domestic
Yeah.
interactions, be more hurtful and combative as opposed to
Yeah.
us all being unified and like working
Oh,
towards a better
exactly,
America. You
exactly.
know what I
Like,
mean? They would
people,
rather us
want
at
a
each other's
civil
throat.
unrest. You know?
Have
what
you
I
ever
mean?
seen? This would be a good video for the podcast. Have you ever seen the video of the Russian KGB agent talking about how the Soviet Union was coming up with these ideas for like implanting a mind virus in a country, and it would take like a generation, like 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
And it was like 50 years ago that they were talking about it, and
And,
now
yeah.
like it's all happening.
You
Fucking-
told me a little bit about it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think that would definitely be
Dude,
a really interesting.
Should we
watch
pull it
for
up?
sure.
Yeah,
pull
let's
it up.
fucking watch it.
It's.
Oh fuck yeah!
I
I
think-
wanted
I
to
think
look at
that
the podcast charts to see.
Oh yeah. Do that first. I think you can probably go on Spotify, but I don't know.
This is definitely gonna be like I want to see like the last like 10 years. You know? What I
Oh
mean?
yeah, I totally
See
think
how-
that is.
Damn, Tucker Carlson's number 2.
is
That's saying
crazy.
something.
What?
People, you know what's crazy?
People hated him. I feel
People
like,
hate-
Yeah.
In the peak of cancel culture, Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson were targets number 1 and 2. You know what I
Number
mean?
1
And
and 2, dude,
and
like,
they're number
actually.
1 and 2 podcasts. That
like Tucker
proves that it.
Carlson, man. Like,
and
that's crazy.
after Trump got shot, people were like,
That
switch,
that
switch,
unified
made-
everybody,
yeah.
man.
Not
That
even
was
unified
crazy, I
everyone,
agree.
but the people who
Yeah,
weren't
not
talking about
realistically.
shit came out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
Like
you're
it
right,
made
for
it.
sure.
It made people realize, oh,
Like, holy
we're a
shit.
lot more.
Yes.
There's a lot more of us who are thinking with our brains.
Yeah,
than
no, I totally agree. That
realized.
is shocking, but I have been seeing him a lot more. So
Tucker Carlson. Yeah, he's killing
just like
it.
yeah, for real. I know he does like he's like investigative journalist kind of shit.
Yeah,
or-
he was on He was on Fox News forever.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't
Yeah.
he like an anchor? Or
Yeah,
something?
he had like the primetime show, like the 7 to 8 o'clock or 8 to 9 o'clock, whatever
Yeah.
it was. My dad would watch him all the time, and I really like Tucker Carlson. And now then he got fired from there because he was talking about a bunch of shit that like he would want to talk about because he like was a journalist, even if it wasn't like going along with the narrative. Like one of the things that was supposedly, oh shit, my computer's about to die. Was supposedly the tipping point. Was when he did a whole like segment on how the CIA killed Kennedy, and after that he got fired, and then he just went on YouTube and X and does his own thing, and now he's like
Is that when he made his show?
massive. TCN, I think he calls it Tucker
and
Carlson Network.
He like posts his show on Twitter sometimes, like the whole episode.
Yeah,
or something.
he does.
So,
yeah,
I'll just be like scrolling, and you just see him pop by, but. He no, I never really got into his content. From what I saw, I do remember the whole cancel culture thing.
Yeah.
There was like a big thing that was like he's fucking crazy or like he's doing this like, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know too much about him to really speak on who he is or how my opinion on him. You know?
Yeah.
But from the small things I've seen, he seems like good at his job.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
Very
he-
good at investigating and like kind of.
he
getting
seems
to the bottom.
honest.
Yes,
he seems
yes,
genuine.
yes,
A lot of
does
people
seem
don't seem genuine. You see clips of like other news anchors. I won't even name names or networks, but you see other news anchors and they just seem so fake. You know what I mean?
my
Like
God,
they're
yeah, it's
saying
all so
something
fucking
that's
fake.
obviously
It's
not
the
true. Like,
teleprompter scrolling. And
yeah, or they play a Biden clip, and I see them like, man, he is not looking good, and they'll be like, Biden's looking this. I mean,
doing
after the
great.
debate, everything changed because they couldn't deny it anymore.
Yeah,
But before that,
exactly.
they would show a clip of him like stumbling through a
Like the fall-
sentence, and
yeah,
they come on there like, you know, he really made a good point about the policy there about how the UN, you know what I mean?
It's
And
just
I'm like,
complete bullshit.
bruh,
Yeah, it's like, come
he
on,
is
man,
an
you're
older.
barely
That's the
talking.
news.
Yeah, the ice cream and
yeah, exactly. When he fell off that bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy, bro.
Yeah,
They're like
dude.
falling up the stairs, going to the gym.
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Dude,
It's just so goofy.
I don't think it's
you
a
know?
coincidence at all that Russia attacked Ukraine and
Really?
Israel got attacked at the same time that Biden was president. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
no way
There's-
they
that's
weren't
true.
planning those attacks beforehand, or at least had the idea of doing
Because,
it in
yeah,
mind. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
That's true.
That's not something you decide and then do in a year. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
Yeah,
It's gotta
that's a good
be
point.
way
It's a
more
big
planned.
They, oh my God.
but they probably have the whole plan. They know what pieces they're gonna put
Yeah.
in motion. They just gotta wait for the right
But
time
do you
to do
think
it.
they make their plans in like 5 years or like 15 or 20 or like
I
these
th-
long like generational plans?
I think it
almost, like, this
depends
is
on the
what it is.
type of plan, but I think there's definitely 50 and 100-year plans.
Right? Oh my God, dude.
One of my professors at school who I worked for a year, he was doing some work for the Navy. It was like super classified. He couldn't tell me about it. He would go like 2 or 3 weeks to DC, 2 or 3 weeks in South Carolina, 2 or 3 weeks DC, 2 or 3 weeks South Carolina. Sometimes he'd be gone for longer, sometimes he'd be home for longer, whatever. And yeah, it was super classified. Like they would call his wife. He told me they would call his wife like every week or every other week just to see what he's up to and where he's
What?
been. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was trying to ask him about what he was doing, and one of the only things he said was, the ship we're working on now isn't gonna start being built for 30 years.
What?
Yeah, they're not gonna start building that
Wait
ship
a
until
minute.
30
That's
years from now.
crazy.
Isn't that
Holy
nuts?
Shit, 30 years is
Yeah.
crazy.
And I said, I was like, how do you?
Like
The
that's so
technology
far out.
in 20 years, the
Yeah,
technology is going to
yeah.
be so different that if
That's
you
so
started
true.
then, you might design it completely different. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
why like it takes so long, because these ships cost like hundreds of millions of dollars,
Damn,
probably sometimes
dude.
billions with all the
Oh my
tech in
God,
it,
yeah.
that they like want to get it right. And if they need to go back and change like a fundamental thing about the ship, like they'll do that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
because that's what
I
they
mean,
got to
dude,
do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be. I feel like there always needs to be someone with like a big plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just to make shit
Someone's
run.
got a plan.
You know.
And
Think
I
about
think
how
the
big
people
world
who
is.
really have the plans, none of us have any idea who they are. We don't know
Oh,
their name. Their faces
average
are
ass
nowhere
guy.
on the internet.
Yes, exactly.
They
yeah.
are off
completely gone.
off
Yeah,
the
grid.
known grid.
Yes,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I agree.
But I think there are definitely it makes too much sense to not. You know, and
Exactly,
If
yeah,
there was
and-
someone
yeah.
who had the resources to go to Obama or Putin or Xi Jinping or whatever and be like, I know you want to do these things. You can do certain of those things, but don't do this and
Right,
do this,
right.
do whatever else you want, or else we're going to kill you and we're going to take over your country because X, Y, and Z. We
Yes,
know exactly what to
exactly.
do. We have the resources to do it, and you won't stand a chance. And it'll look completely generic from within your own country. They'll be like, all right, like I'll do those things, and I won't say the word to anyone. Yeah.
And I feel like the U.S. is such a superpower. It's like I wouldn't want to be another country. Definitely in their crosshairs.
Yeah. It's almost like self-contradicting because if you think about the president, like the president is the leader of the country, right? Like he's supposedly the guy who like is calling the shots. He's the leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's got so much influence over what happens. And he does have obviously way more influence than any normal person. Yeah.
Exactly.
But like when you really think about it, if you think about what do we want the leader of our country to be doing, like we would want them to be like working 100% all the time to make sure things are not falling apart and things
Yeah,
are going
and,
as they should
everything's
be,
okay.
and not fighting with other people,
Yeah.
half the country about one thing and
Yeah,
half the
yeah.
people on the other.
Yeah.
Like, so it makes sense that there would be someone else who's not in the spotlight.
That's
They're
like
not
really like pulling the strings.
Yeah, they don't got to
Yeah.
worry about funding and
It's all the-
lobbyists
yeah,
and re-election and this interview and ads and
Oh my God!
all
yeah.
this other
And
shit.
I believe it's a whole group of people. There's definitely
Yeah.
just like a
It's not just
that
one.
stereotypical like evil villains
Yeah.
at the table. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Everybody's sitting down,
Yup.
making the plans. For
Yeah.
Type
What's the saying? Like
But-
it was decided in a smoky room.
Yeah,
You know?
something
they're
like
just
that.
hanging
Yeah,
out,
exactly.
smoking a
So-
cigar. And it makes sense. Do you know this? We'll get to the Russia YouTube video. Do you know this other? He's like a YouTube journalist. Oh yeah, I was gonna say Tucker Carlson though. He's pretty much. I would say he's very similar to Joe Rogan in the sense that he says what he thinks. He'll admit if he's wrong, and like he'll say what he thinks, even if he knows people are going to disagree with it. But he's not just saying it so that people will disagree with it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
some
Yeah,
people
no,
say
no.
provocative things to get clicks, and other people will not say provocative things to avoid the hate.
Right.
But he just like says whatever
What's
he thinks.
the truth?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that is definitely. And I think it's really difficult to find like true,
Genuine
honest
people.
journalism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is really.
Yeah.
Everything is there's always some incentive, whether it's financial or political or whatever it may be. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like there's always something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But there's this other YouTube guy. What were we just talking about before this? We were talking about the deep state.
Yes.
What's his name? I'm gonna look up. It's Jimmy Harris, maybe. Johnny Harris. Yeah. Who is the deep state?
Nah, I don't
And
think so. I've never heard of him.
It's so. This is such a good video. I just want to show the opening quote, but basically he goes into how at the start of when the FBI was formed and the CIA and all this stuff was happening, how all these top leaders were all like buddies. They all lived in the same couple blocks and they would go to the same person's house and make these unofficial deals, and they would have these cocktail parties and make plans, and then this guy would go, the head of the FBI would go and do this thing, and CIA would go and do this thing, and the Secretary of State would go and talk to the president about this. You know what I mean?
There was a
a
coordinated
concocted-
plan.
Yeah, a
Yes,
coordinated plan. Yeah.
Right. Holy shit. Man.
And this quote just says it, that the hand that mixes the Georgetown martini is time and again the hand that guides the destiny of the Western world.
It's so true, man.
I think this was, Henry Kissinger. I think he was
That's
a
crazy.
leader of an intelligence agency.
I believe so. I don't remember.
Secretary of State. Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yep.
The name sounded extremely familiar.
Yeah. Crazy.
Nah, yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. I mean, 7.8 million views. Damn.
Yeah. He's got a bunch of. This is another guy who like
Or Johnny.
he just looks at the facts, says what
Yeah,
he
just like
sees,
what it
and
is. Yeah.
what it is, and if they do turn out to be wrong, well, they explained the information they had at the time, and it made sense that it led to whatever decision.
Right,
You know what I mean? He's got another really good video.
Oh damn. It's very popular.
Yeah, he is very popular, but well, two things. One, it's crazy that we see this and say he's very popular, and I agree, he is very popular. Mr. Beast gets 100 times this amount of views every single video,
yeah.
and that's just in his English channel. He's got Spanish and
Oh my
French
god,
and
dude, I
German and all
forgot he
these.
had whole different
Yeah.
languages, dude. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Does he get people to like dub them over?
they have people dub them, and I think they AI the mouths to look like it.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, or at
that's
least like
crazy.
closer
So-
than like
yeah.
completely different. You
Damn,
know?
bro. I mean, that's smart. To
Yeah.
Be honest. I mean,
Did you
he's
listen to him
maximizing
on Joe
his-
Rogan?
No, I
You
haven't.
should.
But I
That's
saw
a
that
good
he was on
episode.
there.
Yeah.
How long? It was like 2 hours.
2 or 3 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
figured.
I never listened to it in one sitting though. It's always bits. Like
Yeah. I mean, they talk for a while.
40 minutes on the way to work,
Something.
12
yeah,
minutes on the
coming
way
back
to
in.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this Johnny Harris guy is another really good video about the US and how we took so many times the CIA would go in and overthrow leaders who wouldn't
Really
work
like,
well
work
with them.
Yeah.
or work well with their plan. So they would just go in and start a coup in the country and organize these people and give them money and weapons and like lie to them to convince them that this leader is terrible for
Right,
whatever reason and publish stuff in the newspapers there
That's
and
crazy.
get these
So just orchestrate the
electors
whole
leader-
downfall of
yeah,
the individual.
orchestrate the whole downfall or just straight up kill him. Like just go in and
That's crazy.
get a guy to
Yeah,
kill him and
that's
then
wild,
and then there's a skipped election for whatever reason and then new pro-Western
right,
guys in.
right.
Like that.
Damn, dude.
There's a. Let me see if I can find it.
But the thing is like you really hope that the people at the top would be like invested in the public like interest. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you want them to be that sure, okay, if there is a just like cabal, I don't know if that's the right word, of
Yeah, it
people
is.
like, you know, orchestrating the fate of, you know, our whole country. You know, you would still like hope that they are being as like unbiased as they can and kind of thinking
Yeah.
of the greater good because that is really what it's about.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? When you have the fate of the world, or not the world, but
Yeah.
our world.
No,
in your
totally.
hands, you know.
Totally. I totally agree. And I feel like what sucks is that like inherently will never happen because or it doesn't seem like that'll ever happen because in order to get to the top of the top of the top of the top, especially in a super competitive thing
Yeah.
like people wanting to be president or director
That
of the
is true.
CIA,
Yeah.
like there's only a handful of really top people and there's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
of people who are striving like
Oh my god.
for that level. And if you're a good person and do the right thing and don't cheat and lie and steal, which I think is how it should be,
Mhm.
then you might get to this level of success and you're a billionaire and all this stuff,
Yeah.
whatever. But if you cheat and lie and steal, you inherently have an advantage because now, oh, this person's getting in my way. Instead of the good guy who has to be like, all right, obviously I can't kill him. I'm going to have to outsmart him
that's
or
crazy, yeah.
explain to people why I'm right and he's wrong. If he could just kill him, now that's a jump
exactly.
up. And the people who get to the tippy top,
Are the people that do that? That's true.
the people
yeah.
that do that.
Like and I think that's always how it'll be. Unfortunately,
always
That's
how it'll
just
be,
like,
yeah.
You get the if you compromise your morals, you get a
you have an advantage.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
totally agree.
Look
and
at
it is
Jeffrey
crazy.
Epstein, dude. Like
Yeah.
he
Oh my god.
fucking
That was like he had a whole trafficking ring,
dude,
right?
yeah.
Like, there
and
was a whole.
he was getting money from. It's unclear if people think it was either the CIA or Mossad, which is Israel's like CIA.
Yeah.
And but yeah, there was a clip in the YouTube or the Netflix documentary about him, about a guy who he was like out of jail now, but it was like this old super rich guy, and he was like, yeah, like we hired Epstein. Epstein was like a physics teacher at like this prep high school in
Really?
New York or New Jersey, and then he took this job at like a finance company, and the guy, he was like, yeah, and when I heard about Epstein, it was very exciting. The guy told me he's wicked smart, learns quick, he's very sociable, and his moral compass is upside down, which was exactly what we were looking for since we were running a Ponzi scheme.
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so like he
That's
goes
awesome.
in there, somehow gets involved, and
just
yeah, that's the whole theory. He's one of the
Damn,
people who are at the top pulling the strings supposedly gave him the access and the ability and put
The
him in the
power,
circles
right.
around these people
Jesus,
to
man.
get them
Jesus.
on video.
And all
doing
those people
sexual
have,
things
like,
with underage
generational wealth. You know what I mean? Like it's
National generational
yeah, like they're
wealth.
never
Yeah.
going broke.
Yeah, totally.
That's crazy, man. Genuinely.
Totally.
God.
But we're kind of jumping all around, which is good, I think.
Yeah, I think it's good to keep a open
I
train
agree.
of thought.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Just keep
totally.
flowing.
Go down the little side paths
Exactly,
and come back.
yeah.
Yeah. But when we were talking about that Johnny Harris guy, how he had the video of the U.S. going into other countries just overthrowing them, we had this poster at LaSalle, and I was hoping I could find it on the internet somewhere, but I don't see it. And it was on the top, it was like split in half. There was a picture on the top and bottom, and on the top it was what America sees, and it was Uncle Sam walking around the globe with a basket that said democracy, and he was walking around like smiling, spreading the seeds of democracy.
Yeah.
And then it showed like what other countries see, and it was a giant foot like coming down, because on the top he's just walking around the globe spreading democracy.
Yeah, but they
and
see
to them it was like him like
an
stomping
oppressive-
down right
yeah.
on them, and they're all trying to like run away.
Wow, dude,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
and it like
It's a good point. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
right?
Damn, dude.
it was just very
I mean, the U.S. is definitely like, how do you go against something so big? I mean, don't get me wrong, and I think that's
Yeah.
going back to a while ago when you're saying the whole like, taking down a country with the this kind of like mind virus, if you will. And I think that is definitely, that would be the way if there's going to be
Yeah.
a way,
yeah.
So
You're not in this day and age. Hot war with guns and
it's not
bombs
the way
doesn't
to win.
seem
yeah.
the, like the
yeah.
move.
If there's going to be a war, it'll be like digital or you know what
digital,
I mean? Structural,
digital or
like-
psychological.
Yeah,
or they
yeah.
just have weapons so advanced. Did you ever see the fucking video of this? Is insane. This is so insane. They have this weapon where it shoots like energy at you. Like you don't hear it, you don't see it, you don't smell it, nothing. But it makes you feel like you're burning, like you're on fire. And there's a video of people like walking and they're just in this field, and then they all like get to a point and like
They just start
back
freaking
away. Let me
out.
see
Yeah,
if I
that's
can
crazy.
fucking
Look it up.
find it.
I gotta pee though. I'll give
Yeah,
it 1
go
second.
pee and I'll try to pull up both these videos, and then we'll just have them on stand.
like methane gas
Dude.
or something, which is like
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Even that is like seems outdated
yeah,
these days. You know, it's crazy. All right, what was that called? Fuck. Right now, I'm just trying to look up this video. Looks like it's called the active denial system. Yeah. All right, now we're going to try to look up the other video of this looks good.
If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's.
And now I'm going to try to find the video of the Russian propaganda. And check my time.
That'd have been a record piss, I swear.
Really? Fuck yeah. Do you want another beer? Or you good?
Yeah, sure.
We have these.
Yes, if
Have you
you
ever
have
had
some.
these?
You don't gotta trot all the way downstairs.
We have these things that here garage beers. Have you ever
Garage
heard of
beers?
them?
No, what are they?
They're like Jason Kelsey's. Oh wait, this is Grady left them here the other day. You know how Travis and Jason Kelsey have that podcast?
Yes, yeah,
this
yeah.
is like
Their beer. Or
I don't know if
something.
it's their beer or it's like brewed with them.
Check the chat, by the way. Let's see if we got anybody in here. Let me try it out. Is it good? Did you try one?
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It tastes just kind of like a normal. It's
Just a normal
light
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me what you think. Yeah. Still no comments. What the fuck?
Yeah, where the fuck
Oh
is
well.
everybody? Cool.
I'm having a good time though.
I'm not having a good time. I'm having a great
Oh,
time.
yeah, facts. All right, yeah. So this is that. It's called non-lethal weapon active denial system.
Marines and several other DoD representatives had quite the heated demonstration at Quantico, Virginia from the Joint Non-Lethal Weapons Directorate.
This is a military area.
Move away from the perimeter. I say again, this is a military area. Move away from the perimeter.
This is like a
Their new
test.
active denial system boasts a reach far beyond any other non-lethal system.
Well, it's a versatile system, and it has a range of non-lethal capability that we can't even come close to with any of our fielded systems today that are in our military forces.
That's crazy.
About 7 football fields to give it some perspective.
7 football
It can deter
fields.
individuals on a military perimeter all the way up to a riotous crowd. All without permanent harm.
It only penetrates 1/64 to an inch of your skin. Goes very shallow into where your nerve receptors are.
Damn. So everybody
There's
starts running away.
No permanent injury caused by it. Very safe system. We built in some safety margins and training for the operators.
Safety, including the Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps,
I wonder what it
Sergeant
feels
Major of
like,
the Marine
man.
Corps,
Hey, that's
and
what they're-
Assistant Secretary of the Navy. Most described it as feeling like a hot oven or grill being opened up.
It is something
Really? That
once
makes
again,
sense.
Probably the safest system that we've developed as far as the non-lethal capability.
From Washington, I'm Sergeant Andrew Milner.
Yeah, wow,
Isn't that
that's
nuts?
crazy. Is it like a pulse wave, sort of?
It's
Like
that
a
they
like
shoot
a sound
some
wave?
sort of like high frequency wave.
Yeah, like that is crazy. And honestly, I thought that if there was going to be a weapon, like kind of futuristic, if you will, I figured it would be something with like sound waves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
Or frequency. Like that seems like the most, I don't know.
Dude, that's
doable thing,
Yeah, totally.
you know?
What there was this like Nikolai Tesla quote. Excuse me. He was like, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
there's so much crazy
Yeah.
shit. But yeah, this is
This is the interview
yeah,
or whatever
this
about
is the Russian
this
dude.
is,
Bezmenov was born in 19.
It's 6 minutes, but
in a suburb
that's cool.
of
Can I hit the
Moscow.
pen, by the way?
I was
He
just
was the
Yeah.
son of a high-ranking Soviet Army officer. He was educated in the elite schools inside the Soviet Union and became an expert in Indian culture and Indian languages. He had an outstanding career with Novosti, which was and still is, I should say, the press arm
Yeah,
or
it
the
doesn't
press
pick up
agency of the
the-
Soviet Union. It turns out that this is also a front for the KGB.
it doesn't pick up. This is one of the weird things I can't
The
do
mics.
without the capture card. It doesn't pick up the audio that, like, there's no way to send the audio from that would come out of my laptop.
Oh,
to
so
send to the
it can
stream.
they can hear us. The stream can hear us, but they can't hear the.
Yeah, so I just put
yeah.
it like that, so it like picks up. That's why the TV was so loud earlier when I turned.
Oh,
it on,
I
because
see.
was
Trying
playing
to
it loud so it the
can
mic
hear that. Yeah.
But
no.
it does sound.
Like you can still
It
hear
does
it.
sound great, but you can hear it. Yeah, yeah.
He escaped to the West in 1970 after becoming totally disgusted with the Soviet system, and he did this at great risk to his life. He certainly is one of the world's outstanding experts on the subject of Soviet propaganda and disinformation and active measures.
Yours is
We spoke
1984.
several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes.
I think we should pause this
Crazy.
throughout it.
Yes,
and
and give.
keep talking
I was
about
gonna
it.
say like that is, and it's such an effective idea, and it's crazy because
Yeah.
how many people do you think like thought of that whole plan? Like this is very intricate, you know,
Yeah.
mental. Like you really got to understand the human like experience
Yeah.
to like make something like this,
Totally.
to craft up some type of like.
Like the idea is a great idea, but to be able to actually
execute it,
do
yes,
it, like
yeah.
how do you?
And it is so spot on to what's going on right now.
So spot, that
on.
sentence. It was. I wanted to pause it before we get into like the brainwashing process, but like you said, accurate. Fucking people despite the abundance of information, will not be able to come to rational conclusions in terms of defending themselves,
yeah,
their families,
exactly,
their nation.
exactly.
Like that's exactly
That is
what's-
exactly what's
people are
happening.
not making good decisions
And
focusing on that.
I think a big thing
despite
is too,
all this information.
you hear it online. Like online, you go on and you feel like it's so loud. Like that's what everybody is talking about. That's what everybody thinks about. You know what I mean? Is just like I would say woke principles, if you want to use a
Yeah.
general term. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like wildfire on there. But then you go into real life and you talk to people on the street or whatever in your local area, and I guess it's different wherever you live, right? But for the most part, I think people have a very like still open mindset into terms of like, okay, if that's what you want to do, but it's not necessarily like encouraging it. You know what I mean? Like if I talk to someone and was like, hey, would you want your kids to be, you know, exposed to, you know, all the woke
drag
stuff.
queens
Yeah,
when they're
exactly.
5 or
Exactly.
whatever. Yeah,
And thinking, you know, like this is the way it should
this is
be.
what cool adults do.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, my point is like, would you? I personally like. I wouldn't want that, and I know that other people wouldn't want
I
that.
agree,
From
yeah.
just people you talk on the street.
Yeah,
You know, what
it's
I mean?
not like
Like
I
they
don't think that's like
accept
a
it.
bad thing to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
wouldn't
that's
want
one
my
of it,
kids
yeah.
seeing that because it's like an over sexualized thing, which is fine
yeah.
for adults to fucking go and do. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
Totally fine for adults, but little kids should be like playing with trucks and watching princess movies and
Exactly, and I
like-
think that the like general mindset of just people from the people I've talked to, which obviously isn't a lot of you know, tons
yeah,
of people,
yeah.
but you know, is just that like if you want to do that, fine, but like I'm not going to normalize it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't want to do it. and
Exactly,
I'm not gonna
exactly.
push it on people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that this like whole thing is exactly. It's definitely what's going on now. You know,
Yeah.
Which
Totally
is, scary.
Yeah, it's crazy. And when you hear about the process like it's kind of
It's
exactly what's happened over the
exactly,
last 30 years.
Yeah, no.
Very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism.
Dude,
That's
that-
crazy.
Isn't that
yeah, that
so
is wild.
exactly what's
Yeah,
happened?
Exactly, like spot on,
Dude.
Word for word, bar
Yeah.
for bar. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
everybody's gotta be.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is crazy, man.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Dude,
it's-
and
it's
all
hard
the
to-
woke shit is like inherently tied in. Kamala Harris, there's all I don't know how like political your Twitter feed is, but there's been like so many videos of Kamala Harris going around recently. I'm sure it's because this is like the Republicans' talking point about why like she shouldn't be president.
Yeah.
But like she really is like a communist. Like, well, I don't know if she really is. She's definitely said things. I'm sure she just says things all the time,
Whatever
one way or
favors-
another, whatever looks good. and
Yeah, the
that
agenda,
day,
yeah.
yeah. But she was like, and this is so the literal definition of communism. She was like, so I'm gonna fucking butcher it, but
Give your best shot.
basically the Spark Notes. It was like a 1.5-minute video. The Spark Notes version of it was, we need to all end up at the same spot, but we all start at different spots. So everyone should get a little something, but if you're poor, you should get a lot, and if you're rich, you shouldn't get much, if anything, because then we'll all end up at the same spot. And she like makes it sound so like nice, like and happy, like, oh, we'll all end up at the same spot. But we shouldn't all end up at the same spot. If
yeah,
someone works
exactly.
18
No, I
hours
totally
a day
agree.
and sleeps 6 hours for 40 years straight on like some crazy technology that's super hard, they should be way ahead of someone who decides to smoke weed, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and like
Sit on
just
their
live
ass.
off their unemployment
Yeah.
checks. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
No,
like,
I totally agree, and that is
they should not end up at
there,
the same
as
spot.
much as people hate it, there needs to be like a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Of, like, you know
It's
what I mean?
human
Like
nature.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it makes sense. It really does just make sense. Like, I don't know. You can't be mad at a rocket scientist that he's getting paid like $1 million a year. Like, do you want to try and do that?
why
You
don't
know
you
what
go
I
be a
mean?
rocket scientist then?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
I don't know.
a brain surgeon. You're telling me,
Oh my God,
you
dude.
want the guy who's operating on your brain to get paid the same,
same
amount
amount as
as the
you.
guy who's like working at McDonald's. You know, you really
like,
want
nah.
that. That's what you want for a brain surgeon.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
you want that
Yeah.
guy making fucking $10 million a year.
At least,
You want
you know
him
what I
wanting that
mean?
new
Yeah,
Porsche, like
exactly.
making sure everything's right, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There needs to be incentive.
yeah,
I totally
yeah,
agree.
exactly.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
my brain surgeon rolled up in like a beat up 2002 car, I'd be like,
Fuck,
I
man,
gotta
just
get
another
out of
day.
here. yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not that there's anything wrong with driving that, but you know what
Not
I mean.
at all,
Your
yeah,
brain
but you wa-
surgeon,
yeah, you wanna
want him
have
to be
a-
doing
and I think most people do agree with that. That
Yeah.
there needs to be some type of like, if you want to be rich, you need to. It is a game. You know, life is like, you know, you need to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know? It's not just something that's easy that everybody.
I
should
agree.
Be, you
I
know?
agree.
And I think trying to get rich is like, obviously, someone that, you know, wakes up and smokes weed and, you know, just bums around all day is going to have like less overall knowledge, experience about life. Like, you grow as a human when you're obviously
They
getting
won't
rich.
provide as much value.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
that's
So,
what money is. It's a physical value.
yeah, like you grow as a person pretty
Yeah.
much, you know what I mean? Whether that's good or bad, I mean, that's on you, but
Yeah.
like, you know, you do
you
definitely
want to aim
change.
upward. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, which is just good in general, I think, growth. you know?
Totally. I agree. It's interesting too. There, like the only little difference, but in that segment he said was he was saying how they want to educate one generation of students on communism and plant those ideas in and have it unchallenged or counterbalanced by the
Yeah.
values of Americanism. But I feel like maybe that's why it's not 100% worked, because there still is a lot of people in America who like are not woke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I would
Most
argue
people-
most people aren't woke. You
That's
know what I
not-
mean?
yeah,
They're just
yeah,
the
like,
loudest
really like that.
extreme. Yeah.
I totally agree.
But I think he said like not counterbalanced by. Yeah, without being
Yeah,
challenged or
without
counterbalanced.
counterbalanced,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I feel like it was challenged or counterbalanced because there's so many people in America who
Oh my
that's
God, yeah.
ingrained in them. That was
yeah.
ingrained in their parents and their parents before. Like,
I think as
It's-
long as people know, or not even just know, like, you know, because we could be wrong, like this could not be what's going on, you know, it just, you know, because there's
I
always the
agree.
other
It
side
could
of the
just
coin,
be like
you know what I mean?
the
Like,
internet in
exactly,
itself. You know what I
exactly,
mean?
you
This
know,
was 1984.
I think that it's just good for people to have this type of knowledge, you know, like, and understand that something like this could happen, you
Yeah.
know, because the world is so much bigger than the bubble of whatever is your life,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
like people like this exist. There are
Exactly,
people
yeah.
that do this
That do
sort
this type
that
of
they go to
stuff
work
and
and they
make that
plan
plan.
how to take over a
Exactly,
country with
exactly.
psychological warfare. That's how they spend their days and nights, and they go to bed at
Exactly.
night and they're like,
And that's
Wake up
crazy
and
to
like, oh, I
believe.
had this
That's
idea.
crazy to believe that, like, and you know, it's supposed to be such a. It just seems so like backwards, you know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it very objectively, like war and all that, it's a very like frivolous thing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you're fighting for what?
Sand and
Land?
oil?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like these, and I understand
lines
there's
in
always,
the dirt.
Yeah, and there's more land or you know,
Yeah.
like you said, resources, stuff like that. There's always some incentive.
They're
but, like,
they're the other.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Or
Yeah,
you're just
that's
different,
like
you know?
we see examples of both of them right now. Russia is invading Ukraine because
Yeah.
they want the line in the sand to go a little
Exactly,
bit farther out, like
exactly.
it was before. They want it
Exactly.
back how
You know,
how it
and-
used to be, and Iran and their
Yeah, their
proxies are
whole-
attacking
exactly.
Israel because they're the other. They're the Jews. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And it's like-
we see two examples of why people fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think that it's like you're grown, like people, you know, when you're a kid, that you do that type of shit, and then you're
Yeah.
kind of grown in this like direction or this like, okay, this is what like life is, like this is your country, this is your
Yeah.
nation, like the people that make those types of plans,
Yeah,
think about it, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like they're growing up where it's like, okay, like in that environment
They're
that
biased,
shapes them to
yeah.
be exactly, yeah.
And
Not-
they're not only are they biased, they are biased, and they're the people who made it to the tippy top.
Yeah,
so they're not
exactly.
afraid to do what they want to do by any means necessary. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, no.
And now that they're at the top and what they want to do is global, like by any means necessary.
Oh
you
my
know?
god, yeah.
That's how many like millions. just look at our army. We fucking spend like $800 trillion a year on
Yeah,
our
I know,
army
it's
just
so
so
much,
like we can enforce what we want to do. The
Yeah,
people at the top are deciding we're going to put all of our money into that so we can do what we want.
Yeah.
If people fight back, like, come look
well,
at us.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
I'm gonna butcher this too, but there's some joke from a comedian, and it was like, yeah, like people always say, America spends more on its military than the next 5 nations combined, which is crazy. We spend so much on our military, but after 5, there's a big drop off.
yeah.
You know, like after the big
Yeah,
super
yeah.
battles, which is funny. All right, should we play on this? See what the next
Yeah, keep
part
it going.
is?
We got 6
We're only a
minutes.
third of the way through.
Yeah, exactly.
This is great. I'm having such a fucking
Me
good
too,
time.
bro.
Like, we would
I knew
never
it'd be
do this if
banging.
we were just hanging
Yeah,
out. Let's
exactly.
pause this video and dissect
And
it.
yeah. I'm glad that we are there.
We'd be
for sure.
talking on our phones and you miss a minute and a half. I miss the next.
Yeah, it's just everybody's chilling. You know what I mean? Instead of super engaged. I got you.
By the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Konrad Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes his balls, then he will understand. But not before that. That's the trap.
Dude,
I see. Yeah. Wow, dude.
It's fucking. It
It's
really
all-
makes you think. Is this what happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very hard to honestly comprehend because it's so in depth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's so like nail on the head.
Exactly. yeah.
Like
But
he's not being vague.
not
You
at
know?
all. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You really got to be like, okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm following.
I don't think this guy is like some random Russian.
Yeah,
dude lying.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he
that
knows
would
what
be
he's
crazy.
talking
But
about.
you know, there are people that would definitely say that, like, no,
Yeah.
dude, he's full of shit. Like,
Oh yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Like-
Or even if they're like they believe like, I don't think this guy's lying. He's a real Russian agent. He came to America, whatever.
Defected,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's no way they did that.
yeah, exactly.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't the only person who could do it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
I'm sure there was a whole team of people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's always someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
The situation of demoralization. The next stage is that's the situation of
It was like
demoralization.
2001 like video edit.
The next stage is
Dude, it's crazy too. Have you ever read the book 1984? Or know what it's
No,
about?
but I've heard about it. I think
It's it's one of those like classic. I only read it because we had to read it for school, but it was actually pretty interesting. It's about like this civilization where they like completely brainwash the people, and they have like 3 branches of government kind of, but they're like all doing sinister stuff, and they tell people, they have like 3 phrases that they chant like every day, and they have things in their room. They have like cameras. What are they called?
like
It was like super advanced technology. The book was written in
by George Orwell.
Yeah. I think it was written in like the 1930s, and it was talking about technology in 1984, which was the future then. That'd be like a movie now if we called it 2070. You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah, the book's themes include the threat of totalitarian states, censorship, and manipulation of language. So
Yeah.
like a more filtered society, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very filtered. They had like these phrases that they would chant, and everyone totally like bought into it.
It's brainwashed shit. You know what I mean?
Brainwashed,
Very no
yeah.
freedom of thought or expression.
Total brainwash.
Very
And-
dystopian. There was this other
Well,
book.
Let me say this too. The other, just before we move on from 1984,
Yeah.
it's very internet like because the whole thing is Big Brother is always watching you.
Yes,
with
yeah.
the cameras.
Yeah.
And like the guy has a little spot in his corner where he can not be seen by the cameras, and he writes in his journal because he's not allowed to have a journal or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like the internet watching you mixed with like totalitarianism, extreme leadership type stuff.
Yeah, no,
You know
I
what I
got
mean?
you. Yeah, no. There's another book that was
Sorry, I didn't mean to ramble.
No, you're good. I got you. That's what this is for, you know.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Fuck. There's another book that's similar. It's a very dystopian society, and it has this kind of like, I totally forget the premise, but it was something I think read in like middle school or something.
Was
like, a long
it
time ago?
like an old
Or maybe even
book?
high school,
Like a classic, quote unquote, or was
yeah,
it like
it was
a
like
modern
these
type of-
people. Dude,
roughly spit out any
I
facts
don't
you
even
can
remember. It's like I just remember
Totalitarianism,
there's a movie
future
of it,
technology.
and there's a book, and I remember like in school we read the book, and then
Not Dune.
watched the movie. No,
What
not
movie?
Dune. Yeah, not. It was shit, man. I just remember there was like these people. You had to like take a pill or something. And, like all the people were forced to take a pill.
Brave New World, Soma, was
No, I
that the
don't
thing?
think
It was
so.
like a happy pill.
But they had to. It was just like a brainwashed society or something, and it's pure dystopian.
Where the
and
guy
there's, like, an
goes
old
to the
guy.
library. It's like a family, and you get separated from your family at a certain age.
Yeah.
And he like wakes up from the pill somehow or something, and he like goes to that guy's library, doesn't he? He like goes up the.
and it's like this old guy.
Yeah,
or
on the
something.
top of the hill.
Yeah.
What was that called?
Oh my god. That and it
and there's like an apple or something. Doesn't
Yeah,
it? He
yeah.
sees black and white, and
I
then
keep
you
on
see
thinking-
color.
It's like the Giving Tree or some shit,
And-
but I know it's not. It's not.
No, I think it might be.
No,
bro.
because the Giving Tree is like that old like kids book. You remember
it's
that
something tree,
tree,
dude.
something.
um,
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm
Like
in 8th grade. We had to like make something for our project, and it was the night before, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like I completely forgot about this. And
how it be, man.
my sister and mom like helped me make cookies. They did most of it, probably. They like made cookies that were like apples, and some were gray and some were red. Because it
Yeah.
was like he saw. What was that fucking?
I just remember everyone had like assigned jobs from birth or something, and you were in like this. I know whoever is watching this right now, man. Like I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Like
It's gonna come up when the Giver.
The Giver.
That's
That
what
was
it's
it.
called.
Yeah. Oh my
yeah.
god.
The Giver.
That was. Like,
I would have
what that reminded
never
me of.
gotten that.
But the movie is just like, yeah, the story about society where citizens have no memories of the past except the receiver of memory. The elders believe that without choice they can prevent negative elements like war and poverty. So it's a very just like brainwash.
Total control,
Yeah, total
yeah.
control. Exactly.
That-
No free will kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you really get to see it like,
Totally.
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I would say 1984 is very similar in terms of the people controlling the narrative and the lifestyle.
Right.
But instead of them being like avoiding peace and all that, it's like technology's taken over and
I
Big
see.
Brother's always watching. It's
Watching,
more of
I
a
see.
sinister element than a we're trying to live a perfect happy life element.
Yeah,
Like they have this is like printed all over the place. Like it's on posters everywhere. It's in the cafeteria. They say it on the announcements
Damn.
every morning. War is peace because then they can control people. Like war like keeps people from fighting because then they know
Unifies
who's
everyone.
boss. And
Yeah.
one of the things in that actually was like, maybe I could be wrong about this, but I thought it was like military like brings resources and like is something to do, or I can't remember exactly. There was like more to why war is peace just then, like because then someone's in control, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah, they could definitely mean like a lot more
Yeah.
things. It could be interpreted very differently. you know?
definitely. Yeah, if we could probably talk about that for like 10 minutes.
Oh my god, yeah, I totally agree.
Freedom is slavery. That's pretty like obvious that it's a way that the government try. If they say that every single day, freedom is slavery. Like, oh, I don't want to be free. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
what do you think? Like, obviously, you know, everybody wants to be free. I want to be free. I don't want to be a slave
I
of
agree.
any kind or anything. But do you think that there is downsides to freedom? Like, you know what I mean?
I do. I think that's a great question.
I think it's a tough question.
I think I don't know if downsides is exactly it, but I think it's responsibilities. In order to have freedom, you need to be able to do things on your own,
Right.
like everything
Make
on
your
your
own
own. Yeah,
choices,
yeah,
yeah.
like in order to be free in this day and age, like you have to have a bunch of money, which in order to get a bunch of money, you have to like
That is
do
true.
your own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make your
Yeah.
money your own way, because like
Yeah,
most people who
exactly.
work jobs aren't like super rich.
Yeah,
you know
they're
what I mean?
most people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
and
Yeah.
even if you're living like a nice, comfortable
comfortable
life,
job,
you know what I mean?
yeah, it's still
Like your parents are living a
yeah, they're
good-
yeah,
yeah, and but you have to have responsibility that comes with that. So you need to address those responsibilities.
in order
Which takes away freedom is like being able to do
be
what you
free.
want when
I
you want.
see.
But if you have to take care of these responsibilities of being free, then
that is
you're
true.
not free because you're beholden to
'Cause-
those responsibilities.
right. Like
But-
freedom is only acquired by
Responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, no,
And
I think
agreed.
it's
I think that
totally
builds-
worth the trade. Or
like,
not even. It's not
100%.
even. I think that it's like I wouldn't. I don't think I would, because that makes it. I'm like jumping around in my head. If the alternative is not having to worry about anything and having all my needs catered for, and I can just do whatever I want all day long, that would get boring pretty quick.
Totally
like in
agree.
the summer when
Totally
you're
agree.
just hanging out
Just
doing
chilling.
nothing.
It's like, damn, dude,
Yeah,
I gotta
you
think-
need like
Or-
challenges to
yeah,
overcome.
or
I
even
give me
not
like
working,
the
you
hard
know?
thing of doing this to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
like if you have a day off or something and you feel like, oh, dude, like I'd honestly rather be working because I have nothing else to do.
yeah,
you know
I
what
wish
mean?
I could just make some money.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I totally get you, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I feel like that's. I think those are the downsides, quote
Right,
unquote.
of freedom.
Yeah. Do you know Jordan Peterson?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he talks about that a lot. He says embrace the responsibilities of life, and I'm butchering this too. He says
Just
this like he's
yeah,
such
general.
a you gotta embrace the whatever, you know.
Yeah. You gotta embrace that.
Yeah.
He has this weird way. of
Oh,
speaking.
Yeah. But he says like you have to embrace the responsibilities of life, and even though it's hard and you don't like it's out of your comfort zone, and you're like going at, he always says like biblical stories like Abraham, who was 70 and always lived in his parents' basement, and then like went out into the world, and he was so much better for it. And he says responsibility brings meaning, which is so true. Like,
Yeah, and just
if you have
growth,
a kid,
you know?
that is so
Yeah.
much responsibility, but you have so much more meaning now. You're like, I need
This-
to do this for them.
For the,
yeah.
that's so true. And
Yeah.
that makes you work harder. And yeah,
Yeah,
no, I totally agree.
yeah.
Damn, dude. Like, as much as, and I don't think anybody ever really wants to be like fully like have no responsibility
Yeah.
or no, because it's so
I think there is a good bit of people who do.
that just want to just wake
Dude,
up and
I-
do whatever they
I
want. Like,
I didn't think that until I'm not gonna like say the name of the company or anything, but I worked at a place last summer, and it was a factory, but it was a very like you needed a lot of manual steps that were quick and easy, like move the thing to there, whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that worked the jobs were like not very motivated at all, and it really made me realize like. So for example, what we were trying to do is essentially you have to change like the parts that go in the machines pretty frequently, because you can make like this can on a row of machines, but then now you want to make a monster can. You can still use those machines. You just got to go in and change the
I
little
see.
adapters,
Right.
basically. And there's like a whole team that goes in and does that. And like we try to do so many things to make it easier and quicker for them, because sometimes they would be down for like a whole day and they like are already behind on shit.
Yeah.
And like we tried having things that like organize the bins where the tools go, which did help a little. We tried having like test pieces so they could make sure it works the first time, because a lot of times they would have to like go back later to fix it. And like they would tell them like in it, not like they weren't like the best leaders, but they weren't dicks about it.
Yeah.
They were just like, hey, we're trying to do this to make it go faster. And everyone would just be like, whatever.
Yeah,
Like, dude,
yeah,
go back
right,
to like
right.
the same old thing, do it through.
Right.
And there were a lot of hardworking, good people there. There were also a lot of people that
People
I
that
was
just
like,
woke
bro,
up and went to work.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, didn't even think about what
Yeah.
they were doing type shit.
like
yeah.
not even, didn't even think about what they were doing. Like, I feel like most people, and definitely you and I and all of our friends, like if you're doing something, you want to do at least a half decent job at it. You know what I
Efficiently,
mean?
whatever
Like,
you do.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly. Whether it just be like a little thing or whatever. Like your homework, you don't just want to totally like
Put
give
zero effort.
put like
Yeah.
zero effort. Yeah, exactly.
You want to try a little bit.
At
you
least
know?
yeah, exactly. And some things you determine, okay, this doesn't require like 100% perfection every single
Yeah.
dotted.
Some things
I
you
and
can
T.
half-ass.
Yeah,
you know what I
some
mean?
things
Yeah.
you can. Yeah, exactly. And like sometimes it's better that way. Like if it's a little thing
agree.
or whatever, it doesn't need to be
Like
perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if it's something that only you are dealing with. Like
Yeah.
like at work, if I was gonna like give something to someone else, I would make sure it's
Perfect. sort of.
or at least like
decent.
very
you know what I mean?
pretty
Yeah.
good.
No,
But if
I
it's
agree.
something only I'm gonna like look at later, then
then
like,
it's
okay,
like
it's whatever.
No,
Yeah.
I totally get that.
It would be
for
a
sure.
waste of time.
Yeah, no, I think that some people are like, I do agree that some people want to be like fully free, like just wake up, like smoke weed, play video games, do nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just do whatever they felt like doing, right?
Yeah.
But you know, if you look at those people, like all love to the people that do that, you know. But
I agree.
I understand the feeling because you know I've been there. You get lost. You get like you have no meaning. There is no struggle. It's just
Yeah.
every day is a coast. You know,
Totally.
the same thing. And then you
No
look,
resistance.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years, and you look back on your life like, damn, those years were fucking awesome because
Yeah.
I just sat
It was
around.
fun,
But
yeah.
if all you did was that, you would be depressed. Like, and that's
Yeah.
what happened to me. There in around, like after high school, I took a break, 1 year, just took off, and I wasn't gonna like, I didn't have plans to stay, off.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just COVID was there. It just didn't seem like school was at the right time. I
Yeah.
didn't feel motivated or anything, so I
Yeah,
decided
yeah,
to just
COVID
get
time
money.
too. That was peak COVID.
Yeah, so it's just 1 year, and during like near the end of that year, I was very depressed. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
struggled to even like get up in the morning some days because it was just so like the same thing. There was no progression or drive or anything. Nothing to
Yeah.
work towards. So
Because there was no responsibility.
there was no exactly,
Yeah,
and
no
there needs to
responsibility,
be.
no meaning.
That's
like,
what I've learned.
yeah.
Like there needs to be some type of drive. So I think that the people that think that they want no responsibility don't actually want no
Yeah.
responsibility, even if it's the tiniest thing, right? Like
Yeah.
some people, not everyone's meant to run the world.
Yeah,
you know
not
what I
everyone's
mean?
meant-
That's my kind of thing.
Elon Musk. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Not everybody needs these huge responsibilities,
Yeah.
even if it's the most trivial thing, like letting the fucking dogs out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There needs to be some type
Yeah,
of
exactly.
routine or responsibility because I think that's just like life without it is meaningless almost. You know what I mean? You just get bored.
Yeah,
and
totally.
that's where I found myself. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Even just like, if you're a waitress at a restaurant and you want to do a good job, you're like that. Like that's some meaning. Like you're taking
Even
care
if
of
you
these
hate
people
it,
at this
yeah.
restaurant. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that fridge does make some
Ominous
interesting
sounds.
noise. Yeah, ominous sound. It sounds like something's running, which I guess
I
it
guess
is.
it is.
yeah,
but
it adds up.
for real.
But yeah, no, I could not agree more. And video games, and I know this from the times put into Destiny, although that's slightly different, I guess, than what I'm gonna say. But like video games, you can put so many hours into it, and it's so fun while you're doing it. But then you get off after like 4 or 5 hours or whatever, and you're like, damn, like I don't actually
Didn't actually
like
do
it's great when
anything.
you're looking at the screen and you're going, and it really does like suck you in.
I
Like it
agree.
feels like
You're
real
in a
life.
different.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And then
yeah.
you take off the headset and walk downstairs and like get a snack, and you're like, wait, like
wait a minute.
I
Yeah.
I just did I have nothing to show for those 5 hours.
Totally.
Which
agree.
I
Totally
used to never think with Destiny and stuff. And the reason I said that's slightly different is because I really did get good friendships out of that. Like the only reason we became
We're friends is because
of
Destiny. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And that is I would say the best thing about gaming because even now
That it is
like,
a good way to stay.
Don't get me wrong, I'm glad I have all the shit I have in Destiny 1 right now and even Destiny 2, but like, I really don't give a fuck. If it were all deleted, like it doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, the best thing
You're
is
gonna wake
the
up tomorrow
friendships.
and be the
yeah,
same.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's not so much of the and I know some people really are so invested in certain video games that they really do care about
Yeah.
being like the top rank,
Yeah,
or they
yeah.
care about having all the cosmetics. You know what I mean? That is important to them, and that's fine if that's what you want to do, but I don't think at the end of the day that's really fulfilling. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because just like that, like it's not real. It can all be gone.
Totally,
And
totally.
I don't know.
And I feel like even like if you have the type of mindset where you're like, because if you are that type of person who wants like you want to be like the highest level in the game, whatever,
Yeah.
all the cosmetics, you have the mindset of like, oh, I want to do good, and you like I want to be really good at whatever it is I'm doing, and they could
Right.
definitely find something that like is similar in real life that gives you that similar feeling, you know what I mean?
Right.
That even if in like 5 hours later you're like, oh, like I don't ever want to do that again, you're like, okay, you did something new for 5 hours
Exactly.
or whatever.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Now you know. You know
Yeah,
what
now,
I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think video games are also really good in that sense of staying in touch with friends.
Yeah, and I
it's like
think
any too much of a good thing is a bad thing with
exactly,
literally anything.
Such
Yeah.
very well said. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Anything that you're doing too much, you know,
Mm-hmm.
everything got to be a balance. That's the main thing with anything.
Yeah,
No matter what it is.
Totally.
You know?
totally. All right,
still
now
have
for the
the,
last third one.
Yeah.
Ignorance is strength. Ignorance is strength.
Ignorance. So yeah, like being blind to the full. Like you
Yeah.
don't want to know all that. Would you really want to know all the top secrets that
Yeah.
someone has in their head? Right?
True.
Like no. Like you
Yeah.
want to be blind to what the true
Yeah.
meaning is. You know.
Very true.
Because you know you don't want to be kept. And I agree with that in some sense. You know.
Yeah.
I think that it's a true statement, but not necessarily
Yeah.
true in its whole meaning. It's more complicated
Yeah.
than what the words convey. If that makes
Maybe
sense.
it's like tied into the war's peace because ignorance is strength. Like, say your country is losing the war bad, like people are getting slaughtered, but your commanders are telling you people are doing great out there. These people are at these spots. We're gonna
Yeah.
go take over
Yeah.
this little town, and then we're gonna spread out with them.
There's a plan.
Then now they're ignorant about it, but they're gonna go in like gung
Like let's
ho.
do it.
Yeah,
Exactly. No, I
I don't
totally
know.
agree.
Yeah,
Especially in war, ignorance is most certainly
Yeah,
peace. You know. What I mean?
definitely.
Yeah. No, I think these are top 10 most popular quotes from 1984.
Yeah, that's a really good. I kind of want to reread that. There's a lot of like one-liners in there that just make you think like, oh, there's something to that. You know what I mean?
Totally
Kind of like
agree.
the little stuff we're doing now, where you just
Best book.
stop and pause and think about it.
Yeah, I mean, each one definitely you can easily dissect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
But if thought corrupts language, language can also corrupt thought. Like that's very true.
What is
Like,
it? Where does it say?
where if thought that's number 6. But if thought corrupts language, language can also corrupt thought. Right.
Yeah.
So like think about it. Like
That is very
it's hard
true.
to convey your feelings through talking. You know,
Mhm.
as much as it is like convenient to
Yeah.
talk to one another, and like that's how we're communicating. You can't really know how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So, it's these are definitely thinkers. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Nah. Did we still have more of the video?
language can also corrupt thought. Do we have more? Yeah, we did.
Dude, I forgot about that.
How
Still
did-
got 3
yeah, oh
minutes.
yeah, because that was what started.
So
that
yeah,
whole thing.
yeah.
We were
that's
doing that for
crazy.
a while.
Yeah, let's finish it out.
Yeah, we'll just finish it out.
Subverter does not care about your
want another rip?
ideas
Yeah.
and the patterns
sure.
of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, it doesn't matter.
Wait, can I rewind it a little? Just so you
Yeah.
guys-
This time,
Yeah, go back to the new. Okay, here we
you
go.
will understand, but not before that. That's
Okay,
the
yeah, he was
tragedy
saying
of
he
the
doesn't
situation,
believe anything until he
demoralization.
gets kicked in.
Yeah, yeah.